MLB DFS picks Tuesday, July 30th. The out of the base path picks, the picks that don't get attention on the other shows because they can't mention everyone and they're not in all the articles because they can't write up everyone. So let's give some love to the unknown, make them known, the under-owned, the undervalued, maybe get a advantage on the field. David Festa wrote him up in my article today for free at DK Network, $6,000. Tough matchup, but as we mentioned before, on Saturday, Tyler Phillips. Ooh, scary. Is it too soon on Tyler Phillips against the Indians? Or the Guardians, I'm sorry. Tough matchup. He was awesome. Complete game shutout. The next day, River Ryan. Oh, was it too early on River Ryan against the Astros? Tough matchup. 11 Ks. So, Festa, it's early. It's a tough matchup. The Mets can hit, but the Mets are striking out a 28% rate over the last week, and Festa is a strikeout pitcher. So what is the story on David Festa, the 6'6", number 4 prospect for the Minnesota Twins? 13.1 Ks per nine in the minors, 3.77 ERA. Big fastball, big velocity. But the results say, whoa, this guy's not ready for prime time. 8.16 ERA, but his xFIP is 4.08, suggesting that maybe there's something more under the hood. And if you do look underneath, you'll be surprised, or not surprised, to see that Festa has been pretty good. He's just been unlucky. I know you're hearing about luck, but hey, it's baseball, and it happens. You can make all the right pitches, but you can't control where the ball goes once it's hit. And almost a quarter of the pitches that he gets hit into the air are going out of the stadium. That will positively regress. He's going to give up fly balls that don't always fly out. His ground ball rate was pretty good in the minor league baseball. And in his first start, he did generate a lot of ground balls. Unfortunately, he got BABIP'd. But that should also have some positive regression. His strand rate, there should be some positive regression. And there it is again, the BABIP 349, which is insane for what has been a fly ball pitcher. That's going to come down. Eventually, balls are going to find gloves. And then this 9.4.9 to 1.9 walk rate, which was his calling card in the minors, and is now he strikes people out, doesn't walk, has control, has that fastball. That's going to look really good once this 3.1 home runs per nine comes down. So on the surface, not so great. Under the hood, we love what we see. And we'll look a little bit closer to show you what Festa's done now. 4.5, 3.9, and then 18.2 in his last start against Philadelphia. Looks like he's starting. I think he already had things figured out, but that definitely is a solid game. Now, if we look even closer at Festa, as I mentioned, he got BABIP'd against Arizona. It doesn't necessarily show here with the 316, but he was pitching pretty well, and then in the fourth or fifth inning, he gets singled to death and ends up giving up 5 earned runs. Tough luck. First start, whatever, 535 xFIP, because it wasn't necessarily due to home run. Now, the next 2 losses, pitches pretty well against Detroit, 3.45 xFIP. No hard contact, really, but he does give up 3 home runs. So when he does give up contact, it's home runs, it kills him. And then against Philadelphia, exit velocity is actually up a little bit, but you expect that from the Philadelphia lineup. Overall, though, 338 xFIP, 7 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts, not walking batters, doing everything he wants. His hard contact rate in 3 games is 29%. It's all there saying, yes, this guy's good, play me. Maybe too early, but again, maybe not. And that's our striking out a lot lately. Next on our list, Edward Cabrera. Who is this guy? This is a better matchup. It is a cheaper matchup. Tampa. Cabrera, another guy, we look at his numbers, 7.04 ERA, but a 3.91 xFIP, again, suggesting that there should be some positive regression. And similar to Festa, the fly balls are all flying over. That will positively regress. He is getting ground balls. Strain rate should come back a little bit. Home run rate should drop down. The walks are a concern, and that's how this pick fails. But Cabrera is drawing a much better matchup at Tampa. Also, huge ballpark advantage for a guy who's been hurt by home runs. Now he's playing in the park with a 96 xFIP and 95 home runs allowed. Great opportunity for Cabrera to strike out a lot of batters and get away with the fly balls he's allowing. He is their number 3 prospect, top 100. He's actually number 100. A lot of those home runs, 4 of them came at Great American Small Park in Cincinnati. 96-mile-per-hour fastball sounds awesome, but so far this season, a 530 WOBA against that pitch. We'll see how that plays out. Joe Ross is a guy that I want to target. I hate to have to target him with Atlanta, but it's a reverse splits type of situation with Ross. He looked pretty good this year, went on the IL, looked terrible in rehab starts. So if you're not familiar with Ross, then you say, all right, well, look, he's a righty. He's going to face an Atlanta lineup full of righties, and the two lefties are terrible, so he should be good. Well, Kelenich's average. Eddie Rosario's been terrible. Here's the problem. He's a reverse splits pitcher. He struggles against right-handed batters. Atlanta has all right-handed batters. Atlanta's striking out a lot lately, 33%, but this is a place where they could rebound. Cal Quantrill. Seems like a little bit more of an expensive price to pay for Cal, but Cal is pitching pretty well this year. Of late, not that great, but 6 of his last 7 games have come in hitters' ballparks. They've been tough matchups. It's resulted in a 5.86 ERA over that span, but his xFIP's 420. Now, the story with Cal Quantrill is he's actually having a pretty good year. He's pitched pretty well at home in Colorado, and one of the reasons why is in 2023 he developed a splitter, and he didn't use it as much because he's dealing with shoulder issues, but this year he's really rolled it out, and it's been his main pitch. It's been awesome. A 230 WOBA against the splitter, a 5-degree launch angle. It's working really well. Los Angeles Angels, 27th against splitters, 20th against sinkers, which is now who Cal Quantrill is. 7,500 might be a little bit too much for him. We always got to mention Matt Waldron. You know I love the knuckleballer, so we're going to mention the knuckleballer. Deal with it. Deal with it. It's not a cheap price, and you are facing the Dodgers, but the knuckleballer can face anyone. He's faced the Dodgers before and pitched well, so that doesn't scare me. He had a 6-game run where he wasn't allowing home runs, but over his last 7 games, he's allowed 7 home runs. The thing I don't like about Waldron is he only uses the knuckleball 39%. I love that he has this crazy pitch mix and wild repertoire, but I would still like to see him use the knuckle more. It has a 256 xWOBA. It's not really a swing and miss pitch, but no one ever squares it up. And I think it would behoove him to increase its usage. An 85 exit velocity off of that, a 13-degree launch angle. So they just can't square the thing up. They can't hit it hard. I'd like to see him use it a little bit more. Now, saying that it's not a swing and miss pitch, actually in his last start it was. He really had the thing grooving, a 56% swing and miss rate with the knuckle. So he could come in if he can maintain that grip again and have a really awesome start. All right, spending a little bit more. Michael Wacha having a really good season. Not so great in his last start, 3 earned runs and just 1 strikeout. But in the start before that, he faced Chicago on July 19th. And on that day, he struck out these White Sox 7 times, allowed no runs, over 7 innings pitched. You like that. You like the matchup against the White Sox. It's not cheap, but it's right there. You go back further through his game log, 8 Ks against another strikeout-friendly team in Tampa, 6 Ks versus Cleveland. Since May 20th, he has a 3.75 xFIP. I think that'll do it. Thanks for joining me for the Out of the Base Path picks. Have a great Tuesday.